Flex Academies has come in to partner with our PTA to provide an after-school and before-school enrichment program for our students. We had recently moved schools and had been without a program for a year and a half or 2 years. So we were looking at starting from the ground up, and knew that even before the move that running the school program was a massive amount of work for our parent volunteers, and had been really hard to run a really quality, efficient program for our students. So Flex has been able to come and join us in our endeavor to provide a good program for our students with a variety of activities, and ensure their safety, and really just be our partner, but also take the lead in all the implementation, and sort of knows the best practices and steps forward of how to make the program come together, and then be there for our community.
I'm not sure you know this, but it took several years for Rock Creek Forest to come on board. I think there was a little bit of hesitation, and obviously you guys were moving buildings. So talk to the PTA presidents of the world out there. What should a PTA president look for in a company that is hoping to help them manage their after-school programs?
If you're looking for a company to help manage, our school had gotten too big, and our demands for what we wanted in an after-school program to really rely on volunteers to pull that off became just too large of a challenge. If you're lucky enough to have that parent who's willing to really dedicate a lot of their time and efforts, then you can pull it together. But it always feels like there's some loose bolts that maybe aren't quite held together. So when we looked at restarting our program and really wanted to make sure that we felt, we're moving into this new building and feeling like we with a lot of technology and feeling like we really have a new glossy cover. And we wanted to provide our community a program that felt like it was sort of fit with the mix. Like we're up and running, and we've sort of got our stuff together, and putting that on the volunteers' backs is really challenging. So we really wanted to look for a company that had a lot of relationships with vendors, strong relationships, and a knowledge of what those vendors bring to the table, not only what sort of programs they can have, but what are their strengths and weaknesses, what grade levels do they work best with. Also someone who really had a handle on what logistically does it take to be up and running in the morning and the after school, make sure that the kids are getting where they need to, make sure that the rooms are ready and that the rooms are clean when they're done, and have someone whose job it was to really be that umbrella organization and to care about every step of the way. We didn't think that it was totally worthwhile to pursue a relationship with a partner who was really maybe focused on one or two pieces of the puzzle. We were really looking for sort of soups to nuts that would really see the program from implementing a new session to the marketing piece to having the on-site coordinator who's there to run it from every day, handling the registration. We didn't want just a piece. We really wanted to know that someone was looking out for it in the big picture.
Let's talk about roles and responsibilities and jobs. How does Flex help you as a PTA president?
Flex, probably the biggest value is just that I know that Flex is on it. Flex needs information from me or our liaison to move forward with their job, to build the program that we want and to run it. But I know that Flex is always thinking about what's next. We just launched, well, now it's been a couple weeks, but, winter session got up and running, and that week, saw the email coming forward of, okay, it's time to think about spring and what classes do we want? And those, that's the job that they're doing, and the really where they have their handle on the best practices. And as a PTA, it's so easy to get behind the ball on those things because you get done with one thing and then you get distracted with another priority. So I take comfort in knowing the professionalism and the expertise behind it. But one of the biggest things is just that's Flex's primary priority, is to keep the train going. So they can keep us moving on from one stop to the next, and don't let us get behind schedule.
Well, the train is moving, by the way, because you're about to get a bunch of emails about spring registration.
Absolutely.
Snow outside, as you know that. So you guys have a great program. You do a great job as the PTA president. So we appreciate your partnership.